Many people consider me an audiophile. Now, I don't necessarily, probably because the title is often used to describe pompous know-it-alls who ignore scientifically measurable fact, but I do like good audio. Here at the office, I run a pair of Stax SR L700 electrostatic ear speakers, and they're powered by a Woo Audio GES amplifier. Now, more on that in a future video, but this setup tops out at around $3,000, which is no small price tag. And the system I run at home is even a little more outrageous. Now, despite this high-end setup, I am mindful and well aware of the law of diminishing returns. And that's just that, it's a law. There is scientific and measurable data that proves after a certain point, your return on investment decreases in proportion to the amount of money you spent. For example, the sound quality improvements you'll get moving from a $100 headphone to a $1,000 headphone is much greater than the improvements you'll get moving from a $1,000 headphone to $5,000 headphones, even though the price delta is much greater. And yes, $5,000 headphones do exist. But this video tackles an entirely different segment because today we are talking about 4 headphones that are all under $27. But just because they're cheap doesn't mean they're not good. In fact, they provide the highest price to performance ratio of any headphones on the market, and many of them outperform headphones many times the price. They're incredible, and you're gonna love them. This video is sponsored by nobody, but my brother's a musician and just released an amazing short film and album about mental health, and it would mean a lot to me if you checked it out. Link is in the video description. Let's start at the low end. How low end? Well, how about for less than the price of a Valley Girls venti-sized pumpkin spice latte? The Veclen Electronics Monk cost a minuscule $5. They are overwhelmingly reminiscent in size and shape to Apple's original iPod earphones, and they're actually way more comfortable than I expected, although I was admittedly expecting very little. The foam tips help with comfort, fit, and isolation, and you can wear them cable down or cable up around the ear dependent on your preference. Overall, they just don't really isolate all that well, and their build quality does not instill confidence. But again, these are $5. Like, what do you expect? Probably not much, but their meme-laden packaging mentions excellent sound quality, and holy giblets, it's right. These sound impossibly good for $5. They are biased to the low end and have what us hi-fi folk describe as dark. In English, it means that they have very full-bodied bass with excellent punch, and then nice, if not slightly overbearing mids, and then a tiny bit of treble roll-off, which is anything but the norm on typically cheap sibilant headphones. Now, are there better headphones on earth? Yeah, absolutely. But for less than $5? Absolutely not. Get them even if you don't need them, because they're only $5, and you'll be glad you did. Our next star is the Yincrow X6. Now, these headphones are extremely expensive at $9. And funnily enough, they use the same enclosure as the Veclen Monk, with a couple of different ear tip options, but really the only major difference beyond the price being basically double is their sound quality. Now, the Yincrow are much more balanced or flat than the Monks, with relatively even frequency response across treble and mids, with the bass just being a little bit exaggerated and boosted. But it's even tighter than the Monk. In fact, the low-end response is so excellent that these are ideal for rap, hip-hop, and pop. Overall, I would say that I prefer the Yincrow, but I don't know if they're worth more than double the price of the Monk. Then again, they're only $10, so who cares? Both are great buys. But Quinn, I don't want earbuds. I want to look like a douchebag from the late 90s. Well then, pal, do I have the perfect earphone for you? Because the KOSS KSC75 might be the most heinous looking creation ever invented by man, but holy smokes, do they sound incredible. Their ear clips are subsequently superb for exercise, and their comfort is just generally very, very good. But yeah, if you can't be seen in public wearing these things, the retro but very attractive looking KOSS Porta Pro provides similar, if not actually slightly worse, sound for around $35. But the KSC75 are $15, and they sound a little better. And for $15, they are a literal miracle. Since they clip on and they're open back, they actually leak a lot of noise. So the outside world is going to come in and the inside world is going to go out, which is bad for noisy environments, but good for really great, open, spacious sound. They've also got KOSS's legendarily good lifetime warranty, which is going to be good because long-term reliability on these things is apparently quite terrible. And with a bevy of mods available, you can kind of make these sound however you want. But out of the box, they're often called the Baby DT990, which is a headphone from Beyerdynamic that's about $200. Instrument separation is superb. Trebles are nice and detailed without ever sounding sibilant or too much. Mids are a little bit forward, which I actually really prefer, but a lot of people don't like heavy mids, but that's okay because the mid bass really makes up for it, being super punchy and controlled. They're kind of the jack of all trades headphones. They sound great with all genres, and they're a must-own as far as I'm concerned. Just don't let your friends see you wearing them in public or you're never going to hear the end of it. All right, you Gen Z schmucks, I know. Wires are gross and like totally disgusting. Bluetooth headphones are historically not that good even when they're good, and they're absolutely awful when they're bad. But the fine folks at Monoprice may have found a happy medium with the Monoprice premium hi-fi DJ style over-the-ear pro Bluetooth headphones with mic and Qualcomm aptX support. Holy crap, what an awful name. For $27, you get a surprisingly well-built over-the-ear wireless headphone. The earpads are, well, they're pretty crap, with an uncomfortable, unbreathable, and hot rubber texture. They're not even trying to fake bad fake leather. And they clamp very tightly on my head, although most people who wore them said that they felt adequately okay. Now, their sound is pretty on par with the Beats by Dre-esque DJ sound, meaning that soundstage on these closed-back headphones is basically non-existent, and female vocalists can even sound a little odd at times. Now, the low end is very overpowering, and it isn't very tight. It's not horrible, but it's not good. Luckily, the mids have more than enough game to kind of calm down the fat low end. They're actually really pretty good. Unfortunately, the high end is really, I'm telling you, like extremely recessed, and they get totally overwhelmed by the heavy mids and bass. So these headphones are really only suited for hip hop, rap, and pop. They are not very good for rock, indie, jazz, classical, etc. They're my least favorite headphones of the bunch, sound-wise, bar none, but they're still very respectable, and overall, for $27, honestly, pretty excellent. You don't need to spend big money to get good sound, and these selections are evidence of that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you didn't, well, that other button seems to work okay too. Get subscribed for more awesome tech videos like these, but most importantly, and as always, stay snazzy. See you later, folks.